Good morning everyone and welcome to West Norfolk. My name's Joe Marano and I'm a wildlife photographer. There is however a dark cloud looming over the UK, and that's because we're currently in lockdown over the coronavirus. So people like myself, wildlife photographers that like to really be outside a lot and get up close to nature, that's not really going to happen this year, which bad things happen, it's a shame, we just kind of got to get over it. So what I've done to try and counteract the situation is spend a lot of time in my garden, photographing the garden birds. Now we're really lucky because we live in a pretty rural location. We've got fields to our front, to our left and to our rear, and we get a whole host of animals sort of visit this local area. Off the top of my head, we get a pheasant that turns up every evening. Quite often we get barn owls, buzzards. We even had a heron up in the neighbour's tree yesterday, and I've also seen geese just in this field. As for the garden birds, we get blue tits, great tits, starlings, sparrows, rooks, jackdaws, chaffinch, robin. We also get larger animals. We also sometimes get a fox in the neighbouring field, and muntjac deer as well. So there's quite a lot of opportunity to do some wildlife photography. Admittedly, it is quite hard because you are confined to your garden, but over the next sort of few days, few weeks, that's what I intend to do. Basically make the best out of a bad situation. So what I'm going to do now is show you my garden setup and just sort of show you how I'm doing things. Okay, so this is a little breakdown of our garden. Now, to attract birds, the first thing you really want is just imagine yourself, what do you need? Obviously oxygen's your most important thing, followed by water and food. So to attract the birds, I've literally just got our little water butt just there. We've also got a little bird bath, and we've got a selection of food. We've got fat balls, peanuts, mealworm, and some general kind of seed, which is really good at attracting the birds. We've also got a suet block just up there. We've also got a bird box just up here. That type's designed for small birds like robins, and this white box just up there, we actually had a family of blue tits nest and produce young in that last year, so that was really cool. The only one that's not quite doing its intended job is the owl box. We've actually ended up having jackdaws inside of that. And yeah, sort of a different way of photographing birds than usual. Obviously this is a working garden, so I sort of photograph from this chair here. Now the good thing is that the birds become accustomed to our presence, and they're quite happy for me to just sort of sit on that chair. Obviously we've got 2 dogs, 2 chickens. The chickens are actually really good at sort of sweeping up all the leftover food that the birds scatter around, and obviously that could potentially attract rodents, so they're really good for that. So a few little tips for photographing birds. Now obviously, like I say, mine is a working garden. We do have a child playing football, 2 dogs running around like nutcases, so I'm quite limited in what I can actually do in terms of setup, but you can definitely be creative. A friend of mine called Fitzcosta that I know from YouTube, he's actually set up a reflection pool. A lot of other things, this Paul McGuell photography on YouTube, he's got some good videos on how to set up feeders and branches to try and sort of get natural perches from the birds. Unfortunately, not only can I not really do that, I also don't really have the time, because yours truly has the privilege of being a key worker throughout this whole crisis. So not only can't really do it because of the family, it's also very hard due to time constraints, but definitely you can be creative. The biggest tip I'd say for bird photography is that old saying, the early bird catches the worm. It really is true. You might find that during the day you'd only see a few species of bird, but early morning and early evening you might actually see some of those elusive ones that you might have been looking out for. So yeah, remember that, the early bird catches the worm. This is what is pretty crazy. So basically, during this lockdown I've noticed a few more animals changing their habits. Outside in the back field we've actually got 2 geese. Come with me. Look at this. We have 2 geese just out in the field. That's pretty crazy. They just flew over. So I'm now on a local footpath quite near to where I live, and I'm with the wife, son and 2 dogs because the government has allowed us to go out once a day to exercise. Now, seeing as we are a family and we do have dogs, walking is pretty much the best form of exercise that we can do. Now, we've not seen anyone, and I don't really anticipate on seeing anyone, because one of the perks of living in the countryside is there's not a lot of people about. But if we do bump into anyone, we'll obviously keep a 2 metre safe distance, and we'll probably be able to keep probably about 10 metres, so not really a problem there. So yeah, probably not going to be getting a lot of shots of wildlife. 2 dogs, a son and a wife, don't really help that. But what I'm going to do is kind of use this as an opportunity to do a bit of a recce. Now I've got swans and geese behind me. I've got a river just to my right. I've seen marsh harrier, buzzards, muntjac deer, red deer, roe deer, some bunnies. So there's plenty of stuff out there. I'm just going to use my time on this sort of exercise to kind of look for potential new spots to see wildlife and to see if there's anything out there that I haven't seen before. So yeah, beautiful day for it. So we're just coming up to the end of our walk now. Not massively successful in terms of amount of wildlife spotted, probably due to a whinging 8-year-old child that didn't want to go walking, a dog that thought he would try and sort of reenact deep sea diving lessons in a river, who's currently pulling me now, and yeah, but exercise complete. It's a lot. It's very good for your mental health. I just want to take the time to say thanks to all the key workers keeping the country going, and yeah, hopefully this crisis will end as soon as possible. I can't wait to get out and shoot more wildlife the way that I normally do it. So yeah, hopefully I'll see you soon.